Welcome back to Augmented Voices, the show where we explore the ever-evolving world of AI and its impact on how we work and live. It seems like every day brings a new AI breakthrough.
It really does.
And today we're going to kind of do a deep dive on some of the big developments that are bringing AI even closer to our everyday lives.
Absolutely. We're going to be looking at everything from, the latest moves by industry leaders like OpenAI to how AI is being used in, I guess you could say, unexpected places like on college campuses and even in things like our spreadsheets.
So first up, let's talk about OpenAI.
Okay.
They just released their O3 mini reasoning model, and they released it for free to all ChatGPT users. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with the lingo, this model is basically like a powerful AI engine.
Yeah.
It can understand and respond to these really complex prompts in a way that's very human-like. And what's interesting is that this comes right on the heels of the release of the DeepSeek R1 model, which also has really impressive reasoning capabilities. So what do you make of this timing?
Well, it's fascinating, that's for sure. It seems like OpenAI might be responding to this competition from DeepSeek by making their powerful AI more accessible to a wider audience. It could even be the start of something like, an AI price war.
Oh, wow.
Which would have massive implications, especially for smaller businesses who now suddenly have access to this kind of really advanced technology.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And it's not just about making these models free. OpenAI has also launched this new tool called Deep Research, which is kind of like ChatGPT, but for complex research, like in fields like finance and science and policy. I mean, imagine like a world where AI is doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to research. What kind of impact could that have on these fields?
Well, deep research definitely has the potential to change the research landscape. It could help streamline the process of analyzing data, helping to identify trends and maybe even generate hypotheses. But I think it's really important to remember that AI, at least for now, is ultimately just a tool.
Okay.
So it can help researchers to work more efficiently, and it might help them uncover new insights, but it's pretty unlikely to completely replace human researchers altogether.
So you're thinking more of a collaborative relationship.
Exactly. AI, augmenting human capabilities rather than totally replacing them, will still need those human researchers to interpret the results. The results that are being generated by the AI, and to apply, critical thinking and really to draw meaningful conclusions at the end of the day.
Makes sense. Okay. But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about regulations. The EU has been making a lot of headlines with their new AI Act. They've actually officially banned AI systems that are, I guess, considered to pose an unacceptable risk.
Yeah.
Things like systems that can manipulate behavior or exploit vulnerabilities. And this actually makes the EU the first major power to implement these kinds of really strict regulations on AI. What kind of impact do you think this is going to have globally? I mean, are other countries going to follow suit? Does this stifle innovation? Or is this setting a necessary standard for ethical AI development? What are your thoughts?
It's a landmark piece of legislation, that's for sure. It really sets a precedent for prioritizing ethical considerations in AI development, which is huge. As for whether or not other countries will follow their lead, it's hard to say for certain, but it definitely shines a light on the importance of responsible AI development.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But now, let's zoom in on how AI is, I guess, sneaking into our everyday lives, often in ways that we might not even realize. For example, Google just launched this service called Ask for Me, which is an AI that can make phone calls on your behalf.
Really?
I know. It can do things like book appointments or check on product availability. And this isn't the only example. We're seeing AI popping up in our spreadsheets, too, with the release of Gemini 2.0 Flash, which kind of boosts this AI-powered spreadsheet management. What are your thoughts on this trend, of AI increasingly handling administrative tasks and routine communication? Is this a good thing? I mean, are there downsides?
Well, there are definitely some benefits. I mean, having AI handle these kinds of tasks can free up our time so we can focus on more of the complex or creative work. But there are definitely some potential downsides to consider.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, over-reliance on AI could lead to a decline in certain skills.
Okay.
Or it could even create a sense of detachment in areas where that human interaction is really valuable.
That's a really good point. I mean, imagine a world where we're interacting more with AI than we are with, actual other human beings. What would that do to things like social skills or empathy? I mean, it makes you wonder.
It's definitely something to think about. I mean, as AI becomes more, integrated into our lives, it's really important to be mindful of its limitations and to make sure that we're using it in a way that enhances our human experience rather than diminishing it.
Now let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. Robots delivering food.
Oh, wow.
Grubhub and Avros have teamed up to deploy 100 autonomous food delivery robots at Ohio State University.
Really?
That's right. So we're talking robots like zip around campus delivering, pizzas and burgers to hungry college students.
Mm-hmm.
What are the implications of this? I mean, could this model become the norm? And what would that mean for human workers in the gig economy? I mean, is this the end of, human delivery drivers?
The potential is definitely there, particularly in areas that are really densely populated, like, cities and college campuses, just like you said. I mean, autonomous delivery robots do offer a number of benefits, like, increased efficiency and potentially even lower delivery costs. However, that impact on those human workers in the gig economy is a really, really valid concern. It's something that we need to watch very closely as these technologies continue to develop.
It's a lot to consider. I mean, on one hand, we have all these amazing technological advancements that can make our lives so much easier and more efficient. But on the other, we have these potential societal and economic implications that we really have to grapple with. It's almost like we're standing at a crossroads, and the choices that we make now are going to determine the kind of future we create with AI.
It's a really, really great way to put it. We are at a pivotal moment, and it's crucial that we approach AI development and integration with a, thoughtful and balanced approach.
So let's talk about that. What are some of the key things that we should be thinking about as we kind of navigate this AI-powered future?
Well, one crucial aspect is education. We need to make sure that we're equipping people with the skills and the knowledge that they need to thrive in a world where AI is increasingly prevalent.
Okay.
And this includes not only technical skills, but also, things like critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. Those are the skills that are going to be essential for navigating the complexities of, an AI-driven world.
And what about ethics? I mean, how do we ensure that AI is being developed and used responsibly?
Ethics is paramount. We need to establish clear guidelines, regulations even, for AI development, just to make sure that it's aligning with human values and that it's not perpetuating biases or discrimination.
So it sounds like we need a multifaceted approach, one that involves not just technologists and policymakers, but also like educators, ethicists, and society as a whole.
Absolutely. It's a collective effort. We need to foster open dialogue and collaboration across all these different disciplines and perspectives to really shape a future where AI truly benefits humanity as a whole.
It's fascinating to think about how AI is not just changing our lives in these practical ways, but it's also prompting us to kind of re-examine what it means to be human.
Right.
In a world where machines can perform so many tasks that were once, considered uniquely human, what will be our defining characteristics?
That's a really profound question. Maybe it'll be, our ability to empathize, to connect with each other on an emotional level, to create art and music that stirs our souls. Maybe those are the qualities that will become even more precious in an AI-driven world.
It's almost like AI is pushing us to rediscover our humanity.
In a way, yes. I mean, it's prompting us to really reevaluate our values and, our priorities and our place in the world.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the latest AI developments to those ethical and societal implications. This has been a really thought-provoking conversation. What stands out to you from all of this?
I think what strikes me the most is the sheer pace of change and that wide-ranging impact of AI. It's transforming everything from the way we work to the way we interact with, the world around us. And while there are definitely challenges that we need to address, there's also this immense potential for AI to solve, some of the world's most pressing problems, like things like climate change and disease.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, isn't it?
It is, but I believe that by embracing a spirit of curiosity and collaboration, we can navigate this new era with confidence and create a future where AI and humanity can thrive together. It's a pivotal moment in human history. And I believe that by embracing this mindset of lifelong learning, staying curious, and really focusing on developing those uniquely human skills, we can navigate this new era with confidence and create a future where AI and humanity thrive together.
That's a powerful thought. It is a bit of a double-edged sword, this whole AI thing. There's so much potential for good, but there's also a lot to think about in terms of, ethical considerations and the future of work. And speaking of the potential for good, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on some of the potential benefits of AI integration.
Well, think about healthcare for a moment.
Okay.
AI has the potential to just absolutely revolutionize things like medical diagnosis, drug discovery, and personalized treatments.
Wow.
Imagine a world where AI helps doctors to detect diseases earlier, to develop life-saving therapies, and even provide personalized health recommendations based on your individual genetic makeup. I mean, that's the kind of future that AI could help us create.
That's incredible. And it's not just healthcare, right? What about sustainability and climate change? I mean, could AI play a role in tackling those global challenges?
Absolutely. AI could be an absolute game changer when it comes to, combating climate change and creating a more sustainable future. I
Uh-huh.
mean, it can help us optimize energy consumption, develop more efficient renewable energy sources, and even just monitor and predict environmental changes with much greater accuracy.
It sounds like it's not about fearing AI, but understanding it, shaping it, and using it as this force for good.
Exactly.
That's a really empowering message. But let's bring it back to the specific developments that we've discussed today. If you had to pick like one key takeaway from this whole conversation, what would it be?
Well, I think that the most important takeaway is that AI is here to stay. And its influence is only going to grow from here. I mean, it's already transforming how we live and how we work and how we interact with the world around us. And while there are definitely challenges and risks to consider, there's also this immense potential for positive change. I think the key is to approach AI with a critical yet optimistic mindset, to embrace lifelong learning and really actively shape the future that we want to create with this incredibly powerful technology.
I think that's a perfect note to end on. It's been an incredible conversation, and I really hope our listeners feel as inspired and informed as I do. So to our listeners, we leave you with this thought. In a world where AI can research, make phone calls, and even deliver our food, what role will be left for humans to play? It's a question worth pondering as we navigate this exciting and uncharted territory. Thanks for joining us on Augmented Voices.